car prices are up, layoffs are happening, and it's not just inflation or COVID anymore. In 2025, Trump reignited a trade war, this time with Canada and Mexico, and it's already damaging our auto industry. Ontario is losing jobs, production is dropping, and while Mexico is adapting, Canada is getting hit the hardest. Let me break down what's really going on and why this affects anyone who drives, buys, or works around vehicles. Welcome to Boostology. Got another video for you guys. So before we actually get into what is going on with Trump and tariffs, what is an actual tariff? A tariff is basically a tax on imported goods. Trump claims it protects American jobs. But in reality, these 2025 tariffs on Canadian and Mexican exports are throwing the entire supply chain into chaos. Canada's auto industry relies on cross-border trade, especially in steel, aluminum, and car parts. So when tariffs go up, prices rise, demand drops, and jobs disappear.
Let's start with this breaking news this morning about Honda. Japan reporting that they may be moving production to the United States, exactly what Donald Trump wants.
If you guys know what supply and demand is, when there's a lot of supply of something but it's expensive, demand is gonna have to drop because there's no incentive for automakers to actually buy these parts at a high premium, thus leading to a trickle down of people not buying, people not working, and people just overall not invested into the auto industry. So let's talk numbers. In April alone of this year, Ontario lost 35,000 jobs, mostly in manufacturing. A recent report says these tariffs are so damaging, they could push Ontario into a modest recession this year, with slow recovery into 2026. Think about it, we're actually technically in a recession right now. If you look at 2024 onwards to right now, you can technically say we're in a recession. And while the Canadian leader Carney has set up meetings with Ford, GM, and Stellantis, it's clear that the damage has already started. Now here's where it gets a little interesting. Mexico's auto exports fell 11% when the tariffs started, but just a month later they rebounded to only 3%. Canada, on the other hand, got hit with a 23% drop in exports, and the months preceding that was the same if not worse. So why is Mexico in this recession still standing on its two legs? Well, simple. Mexico has built a monster auto ecosystem. We're talking cheaper labor, established supply chains, and global car makers from BMW, Honda, and Toyota setting up shop in Mexico. Even Chinese brands are now assembling cars in Mexico. In a sense, Mexico is a place where car manufacturers see it as a way to survive in this tariff war. Meanwhile, in Canada, they've been getting decimated. Plants have been shutting down, not to mention thousands of jobs have been cut, and automakers, instead of scaling up, are not expanding and are downsizing actually because of this tariff war. So while the US is trying to protect its economy, it's also hurting its closest trade partner. This isn't just politics, it's real damage to workers, buyers, and even car enthusiasts like myself who now have to pay more for everything from Civics to Corvettes. It doesn't matter what it is, you're paying more for what you would have got for cheaper. It's affecting us in Canada, especially those of us who are in industries such as logistics or manufacturing. The truth is, Canada's car industry has always punched above its weight, but this new wave of tariffs might just knock it out if things don't change. So next time you wonder why that used car that you've been eyeing for the past year is more than what it used to be, remember, it's not just inflation. It's not a chip shortage. It's a policy implemented by greedy politicians. Alright everybody, thank you guys again for watching. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about tariffs, Donald Trump, Canada, and how it's affected the car market? I know this is something different from what I post, but it does relate to the car community, as a lot of this stuff has affected car prices, manufacturing, and the overall logistics side when it comes to vehicles. Do you believe there'll be a solution soon between Canada and America? And also, if you were a politician like Carney or Donald Trump, how would you handle this situation? What would you go about doing? And do you think it's fair what they're doing currently? Thank you guys for watching again, and peace.